This is my 2007 335i BMW, and after pulling it out of winter storage, I noticed that there were a lot of lights on the dash. I mean, pretty much all the lights were on the dash. Now, my beloved 335i can be a little finicky, I will admit, but I'm sure there are owners of older BMWs out there watching that can relate. I also have a mirror that decides to flip itself upside down for no reason. It's kind of weird, but as much as I'd like to think that these lights on the dash are just the car's way of saying hello or help, we gotta fix them. We're gonna fix all of them in this video, all while making my car a little bit faster. I think. I'm being a little optimistic here. And if all else fails, if I can't get all of these lights to turn off, there's a very simple solution. And it has to do with just living with them, you know? That's it, we're just gonna live with them. We would never smash the cluster, we would never smash it out because it annoys us so much, no. All right, so let's get right into fixing a bunch of stuff. And I wanna start off with the coolant light. And yes, one of these days I'm going to clean this car. I have not touched it since buying it. I'm kind of saving it for a detail video, so I purposely don't want to clean it. But we gotta fix this coolant light because this is a new one. I haven't messed with anything in the cooling system. Look at all these rock chips for everybody who was yelling at me for sitting on my hood. I'm getting it painted. It's gonna be okay. So we wanna check the coolant, and before you do that, you wanna make sure that there's no pressure in the system. So the car has been sitting for probably over an hour at this point, so no pressure. We squeeze some hoses, we're good. And I haven't seen any leaks on the ground. I haven't smelled any coolant at all. And let's just see what we have. Yeah, wow, that is really low. Very, very low, so that kind of explains that, but we have to make sure that there's no leak because there's no sense in filling that up if it's just gonna pour out. All right, so first things first, I am gonna fill up the washer fluid because that light comes on and off all the time as well, and I need an empty bottle to mix my really expensive BMW coolant with water. All right. One light down, that was nice and easy. It's about the cheapest light you can turn off on any BMW is the washer fluid warning light. It's like getting away with murder. All right, now I'm gonna demonstrate how to not use a funnel and spill coolant everywhere. Oh, look at that, skills. How high can I go here? How high before I spill? So this washer fluid bottle is halfway filled with water, and we'll top it off with coolant, 50-50 mix, that's what you want. Okay, there we go. That's about as high as I go. Nice and pretty. All right, cool. Minimal spillage, not bad. No funnel, no funnel, no funnel, no funnel. Okay, already spilled. Let's see. How high can I go? Oh yeah. Oh, this is getting dangerous. I am gonna get, okay. Ah, cool, look at that. It's got this little floaty deal in here. Pretty much tells us to stop, even though I just put some more in there. All right, so it wasn't too bad. Well, actually, no. Well, that's how much we lost. So that is kind of bad. We don't want that. But it wasn't enough to overheat the engine or anything even close to that. All right, so we got our bobber floating up here. Now, before we just put this cap on and call it a day, we need to pressure test the system. And to do that, we are going to use this gigantic pressure testing kit. So this isn't mine. This is my friend Billy's here at Mancuso Collision Custom. They are being really, really nice and letting me work on some of my cars here while my garage is taken over by my V12 project, which I still don't have parts for. But this is a really nice kit. It comes with like every fitting in the world. So we have to find the one for BMW. I don't know which one that is, but we're gonna figure it out. Okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's do this one. Oh, it works. Yeah, I totally just got that right randomly. I didn't try like 18 of these off camera. No, I knew it was this one the whole time. All right, so with that connected, we have a good seal. We are gonna pump this guy up to about 15 PSI. That's roughly what this system runs at. Let's see, does it say? No, it doesn't say, but that's about right. So we're gonna go 15. Okay, right there. All right, we're at about 15, so we're gonna let that sit while we go fix a bunch of other stuff, and it should hold I mean, we would see pretty much right away if it was going to lose pressure, and then you may even see the leak. So this is an excellent way of actually pinpointing your coolant leak as well. All right, while our coolant pressure tester is doing its thing, we have to diagnose the check engine light and the ABS light. So I've connected a battery charger, and I finally get to show you my new tool. I've been playing with this for about a week. It is the Autel MaxiSys, is that how you say that? MaxiSys Elite. So this is a very, very high level diagnostic tool, which I haven't really gotten into on the channel. I honestly have just been using a bunch of cheap stuff. My Mercedes Star system has finally just completely died. I will get a new one of those. And I will be also showing you this little guy here, the MHD tuner, and I have a little Android tablet that we're going to use to flash this car with a new tune for E85, and we're going to do a little bit of logging. It's pretty cool stuff. And just to let you know, I'm not being paid by anybody to make this video. It's just, this is a car channel. Like, we use tools and gadgets and products, so I have to show you, and I got to tell you the name of them. So anyway, I'm just simply using this stuff to work on my car, fix my car, just like I would like a normal person. Before we scan this car for codes with the Autel, I believe I have to disable the JB4 piggyback tuner. So there is a piggyback tuner underneath there somewhere in the dash that's connected to the car. That came with the 335i. It's pretty cool. I'll talk to you guys and show you some of the features here in a moment, but I think that we need to disable it. So hang on a second. So we're gonna press these two down. See how the cluster does that little crazy thing. And now, let's see. Oh, did I already do it? Yeah, I already did. So everything's on 0. And then we hit that. Okay, good. So now we have disabled that JB4 piggyback, and I think now we can scan this car properly. So we do have a wireless multiplexer with the Autel, so it just plugs in to your normal OBD2 connector. And then we're going to pick out which kind of car we have. And we'll hit read. Okay, so it read the VIN. This is the type of vehicle we have. Yes. Okay, diagnosis. All right, so here are all the codes in the engine computer. There are quite a few. Now, a couple things to note. This car is currently running perfectly fine. I put some fresh fuel in this like right towards the end of the winter. I had forgotten I'd left quite a bit of E85 left in the tank. It did misfire a few times once when I started it, so I am looking here. We have several misfires, cylinder 3, 4. All right, let's just take a look here. And it'll tell you the criteria, what needs to happen for it to set that code. It'll even give you some ideas of what's wrong. I don't think that there's anything wrong. Okay, so we also have mixture control. So these are adaptation type of codes. This could be the bad fuel as well. This could be a vacuum leak, although I've looked everything over. And we fixed some stuff a few videos ago, so I don't believe that's a big deal. And catalytic converter conversion, that's got to be an efficiency code. Catalyst system efficiency below threshold. So I do have catalytic converters on this car, but they are high flow cats when I replace the downpipes. And I'm just going to go ahead and say they're just not enough for the stock computer to not trip this code. So that is kind of unfortunate because I'd have to figure out a way to code that out, even though I do have catalytic converters on the car. Fuel pump plausibility, this does have a new direct injection pump. So that's kind of a weird one. And this last code is probably nothing. So guys, none of these are current codes right now, so I think we can just blow these out. The car's running perfectly fine. We know the misfires had to do with some old fuel back in the wintertime. Adaptations, we'll reset the adaptations for sure. All right, so here we go. We're going to reset adaptation values. So this is definitely something good to do. Adaptations were reset. Okay, so these are reset also. So this is cool. We can actually change the idle speed. Do you want to change permanent adjustment? No, I don't really want to do it, but that's pretty cool that we can. So this menu, you can do everything. Program keys, reset the maintenance light, battery. When you replace the battery on some BMWs, you have to kind of program that in there as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, we're still basically right at 15. It was right in the line, so it's been, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes. That's totally acceptable. So I'm gonna say we don't have any leaks at all. It may have just been a little low when I bought the car. And yeah, I guess I didn't check that. I kind of figured I would have, but regardless, we don't have any leaks right now, so we're not going to go too crazy with this. Nothing on the ground, no weird smells. Passes the pressure test, so we are A-okay. All right, guys, I messed up. I'm new with this tool. I meant to only erase the codes in the DME, and it looks like I erased all of the codes because there's no way everything on an '07 BMW passes. So unfortunately, I can't show you the codes that were in the ABS module, but fortunately for me, this has been an ongoing issue since I bought the car. The ABS light would come on sometimes within like just 5-10 minutes of driving, then go away, then come back a minute later. So very intermittent, and I scanned it a few months ago, and it was one of the front speed sensors was tripping the code. So what I want to do now is remove those speed sensors and see if there's any rust or debris in there, because sometimes that can cause an intermittent ABS light. Look at that, no lights on the dash, hang on. Oh, wow. This is a very rare sight. Look at that. I'm gonna take a picture as well. This is gonna be my new screensaver on my phone. So this is what happens when your ABS ring basically shreds itself to pieces, usually due to rust. So normally there's a ring right here around the axle. This is the E55, by the way. This is what I'm doing over here. But the ABS ring just shredded itself, and there's bits and pieces everywhere. So the sensor that normally goes in there, which I have out right now, was basically just had a bunch of rust on the end of it. All right, guys, so I have taken one of the ABS sensors out. And this isn't really that bad, but sometimes there can be a little bit of rust and corrosion buildup, and this is magnetic at the end, and stuff will stick to the end of the sensor. So as you can see, we do have some of that going on here, and this has been a Chicago car, I think its entire life. So I've seen this where you just need to kind of clean off your ABS sensors every once in a while, and you can fix a light this way. Another thing that's kind of common with ABS sensors is that the wiring, the long leads, see this goes all over the place, all the way over here too, they develop an open circuit on the inside, and then usually when you turn the wheel, you'll get an ABS light that will come on. So just another method of diagnosis, but I think in this case, we are going to clean these off. Sometimes it's just a matter of this. I'll get a rag in here and make it really nice, and we should be good. All right, so I took this sensor out as well. It wasn't even as bad as that side, so I don't know if this is gonna fix anything. It really wasn't all that bad, so we will see what happens during our test drive. But first, I'm gonna upload the new tune because you wanna have a battery charger connected for this. So we'll do the tune, I'll show you some cool features, and then we'll go get some E85 and take a few blasts and see what this thing feels like. So what we're gonna be doing here is a back end map. So MHD is just another tuning type company, and they came out with this little dongle right here, and there are a bunch of good tunes out there. So there's some people that write their own tunes, and there's some tunes that are pretty well proven available on the forum. So I got this off of n54tech.com. It's a forum. Many people have used these tunes, and they are very well proven. So you go to that forum, and there is a thread. I'll leave it linked down below if you guys have one of these cars. You can save a bunch of different tune files. Now there's good instructions on that thread in the forum. I'll leave it linked down below for you guys. But basically these just designate what kind of car you have, what years and stuff like that. So I know for the 335i, we need this guy right here, and then here are all of the maps. Pretty cool. So again, in the thread, it'll explain all of this so you know which one to pick for your car, but hybrid means hybrid turbos, which I have on the way. They just haven't arrived yet, so sooner or later I'll be uploading a hybrid E85 tune, but they have a low timing one with no spool. There's all sorts of different variations, but what we're gonna be doing here is we're going to be installing this guy, the E85 tune, and this is meant for guys running over 40% ethanol, which I'll be doing. Okay, so now we should be able to go here, contacting the DME. We can also add an exhaust burble. I think there's a few other options we have, but let's go ahead and write full. This is going to take some time to do, so that's why you want to make sure you have that battery charger connected. You don't want your battery to go low in the middle of a flash. All right, so it started doing its thing. We have about 35 minutes left to go. All right, so we're almost done. Turn off ignition. Still starts. That's a good sign. I should probably reset my maintenance indicator. I have a few bulbs out in the back. Let's see, optional exhaust burble. Okay, so we have exhaust burble and then cold start noise reduction. Launch control RPM. Okay. Yes. Oh, no way. This is awesome. 2900, that sounds good. All right, we're gonna do one of these. No way. Look at all this stuff. All right, guys, it's the next morning. I've driven 45 miles, and we just get a light bulb light on, okay? Oh, what are the chances? My tail light is broken, so that's what that is. But no warning lights, no ABS light ever, no check engine light. It runs great. So at this point, let's go get some E85. All right, about 5 gallons of E85. This should roughly give us E50, something like that. So I've gone 18 miles with the E85 mixed in, and I have just been driving around having some fun. Oh, just roasting them. This thing is wicked, guys. This is wicked. If you saw my earlier 335i videos after I fixed a bunch of other issues, that seems to be the bulk of the content for this car, you'll know that it didn't do that before. It wouldn't just roast them all the way through second and into third. This thing is wicked now with this new MHD back end flash with the JB4. I know it's a mouthful, and if you guys aren't around or if you're not familiar with these cars, let me just give you a couple, just 2 minutes of your time here to understand the coolness and the tunability of a car with the N54, because these are budget cars. This car was like $6,000, or you guys might remember better than I do. I think it was $600 or $6,500. You can get them for like $5,000-6,000 all day long. And coming from the M113K world for Mercedes, I can really appreciate the tunability of this car with very, very little money. Oh, this boost is insane. Okay, so like I said, right now we are in, sorry for the light, guys. It's a beautiful day. Hang on, let me just turn around. All right, so we're gonna turn around for potentially better lighting. And because we have to auto-tune. Oh, I love it. I love it. I have faster cars than this, but I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the manual transmission. This lighting still kind of stinks. This thing is just a blast. Boost and manual transmission, just a perfect combination. I love it. But anyway, what I wanted to talk to you guys about before I turn the camera to the cluster so you guys can see all of this is just how good of a value these cars are. And the modification market is amazing. So these cars have factory wideband O2 sensors, which is phenomenal. And if you pair that with this JB4 tuner, which again, I don't know anyone at JB4, it came with the car and you can get them used for like $150. So just the budget, the value of modding this car is crazy. But if you have the JB4, there are a bunch of safety features that you get with that. Okay. All right. We're good, we're auto-tuned. So with the JB4 comes with a bunch of safety features that are just so cool, guys. We don't see this in a lot of platforms of this era. And so this has an overboost protection. It knows the air-fuel ratio, so if it goes too lean, it'll cut your boost so you don't blow your engine. It won't allow you to boost very high when the engine is cold, so if you try to beat on it when you're not supposed to, it won't let you. Then you can go into the cluster and change all sorts of stuff on the fly, and there is a nice little sheet here that I'll pop up on the screen, and this is something you can find on the JB4 website, I believe. I think I just grabbed it off a forum. But this will tell you how to customize your car through your steering wheel buttons. So you can set all sorts of different things like your shift light RPM, and you'll get the hazards that'll flash when you're supposed to shift. You can even program in a two-step, which we can do with the MHD as well. But you can do that on the fly with your steering wheel buttons. Just go up and down in RPM for your two-step. You can change your gauges. So you can have your fuel gauge be a boost gauge. You can have your oil temperature gauge be an intake air temperature gauge. They're kind of gimmicky. It's not very specific, but it's cool that you can do that. And there's so many other features I could spend, probably 5 minutes talking about them. But the fact that you can do this all through your steering wheel, I think is really, really cool. Now, just so there's no confusion here, because it is a little confusing. I'm new to this whole N54 world, but we also have an MHD tuner, which is a different thing altogether. So basically, the JB4 comes with all sorts of different maps and they work fine. But MHD has their own tunes, which many people say just produce more power. They have more control over everything like ignition, timing, and fueling. So what people have come up with on the forums is the back end flash. So what you can do is you can keep the JB4 for all of its safety features, and that's an actual piggyback module that is just, it's in your car, it's under the dash. So you're gonna keep it there for all your safety features and for all the adjustability that you can do through the steering wheel controls. But now with the MHD, you are going to flash in their more updated tunes, which are constantly being refined as well and updated, which is really cool also for kind of an older platform. So what we did here, we're still in tune number 5, which is auto tune, but now the MHD is going to kind of take over and kind of add its tuning to it to make more power. And I can tell you right now that it definitely makes more power than just the regular JB4 tune without this back end flash as well. Little rip. Oh yeah, yeah. I have traction control completely off and it's just getting sideways. Something else that's really, really cool, so the whole auto tune feature and the fact that you can run mixes of ethanol, that is phenomenal. So, you know, coming from the same generation, if you were working on a Mercedes or an Audi or something, and you did big modifications, you'd have to find a tuner and pay a lot of money to get your car either tuned by mail or on a dyno, many hundreds of dollars. And if you change something, you got to do the whole thing over again usually, or get an update. With this auto tune feature, because it has that wideband O2, it can correct for modifications. So you can do whatever you want. You can put a bigger turbo on here, a single turbo. You can do hybrid turbos. You can run different mixes of ethanol, and it's going to tune for that. It doesn't actually have an ethanol sensor from the factory, but it reads the ignition timing retard. It knows when it's knocking, and if you have a higher ethanol content, you're going to have a higher octane fuel, so it's not going to knock as much. So it can adjust for all of that. It's just so cool. I just can't say enough about this very inexpensive platform. And you guys that already have the N54, or maybe guys that have newer cars where this stuff is a little bit more common, you know what I'm talking about. But for everybody else that watches me for my Mercedes content, my LS content and stuff, I'm geeking out about this stuff because it is so affordable. So you can go and find these JB4s for like 150 bucks. I bought the little MHD dongle that you plug into your OBD2 thing for like 60 bucks, and then you can pick and choose if you just want the back end flash tunes. You know, you pay for that. It's just, you know, for a few $100s, you have a really fast car, and then the mods are all pretty easy on these too. We have the larger intercooler and charge pipe. I did the downpipes, which only take like 4 hours. Yeah, and you get this. So I also have the bigger fuel pump, so I can run more ethanol. So I'm probably over an E50 mix right now. But anyway, this is like a tuner's dream. It's like a bolt-on affair. You're not needing to dig into the engine. The N54 is actually really stout and strong. It can handle a lot. I think guys are pushing like 650 wheel with a completely stock engine on a car that you can buy for like $5 or $6 grand. So anyway, I'm a big fanboy now of this whole platform. I know it can be unreliable and whatnot, but they all can be unreliable. At least with this, you don't have to spend a ton of money to modify it. And you can just beat the ever-living hell out of it all the time. And yes, it will probably break at some point, but not because it has too much power. All right, guys, that'll do it for this video. I wanted to end it here to show you that, yes, I still have the V12 engine project going on, but no, I don't really have any parts to put it back together. I mean, I do have some parts. FCP has sent a lot of stuff. I got a lot of little parts. I got some big parts too. VRP sent out the new turbochargers, but I need the cylinder heads, and they're still out getting ported and CNC machined and all that kind of stuff. And everything gets bolted to the cylinder head. So there's really not a whole lot I can do with this engine right now, but don't worry. I have been very busy behind the scenes, and soon I'm gonna have the biggest announcement yet to the channel coming. It's gonna be pretty awesome. Just a big game changer for me. So if you guys have been around for a while, if you've been following me for now 3 or 4 years that I've been on YouTube, you're gonna understand why this is so important to me. So anyway, stick around for a big announcement. Follow me on Instagram and on Facebook at LegitStreetCars. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. Share the video. Subscribe if you're new. That's it. This is the end of the video. So most importantly, have an awesome day. I'll catch all of you in the next video.